of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast with your host, as always, joined by Jacob. I am Michael. Happy Sunday to you all. Welcome in. Welcome all. Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ange Postecoglou's very first home game, official home game, not preseason, official home game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium ends with a W. And Jacob, we have our Sarr boy. We'll get into it in a little bit, my friends. But Jacob, first off, how we doing? It's a great Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon at this point. But man, the vibes are immaculate. I can't lie. I have to admit something too, man. Last week, I told you I was getting. They're starting to suck me back in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to report. I am fully back invested into Tottenham Hotspur. Big Ange has done it to me. It's just the magic of football. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just happens like that. Even when you do have a rather disappointing summer. It's not over yet, to be fair, but good Lord, man. It's nice to have our football club back, right? And more importantly, the style, the manner in which we beat Manchester United, more specifically that second half. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first off, my friend, how are we feeling today?
First and foremost, talk to me nicely because I'm just glad you brought the swim trunks, bro. I'm glad that you're fully submerged. You're in the pool that Ange has now built for us. He's been working on this pool. He renovated
at this point,
the pool
he could
that
be
we had.
pissing to make the pool, and I'd still jump in.
Hey,
that
the
is
Lazy
how
River.
invested I am.
Shout out Hurricane Harbor, Arlington, Texas, the Lazy River. A lot of memories made there.
Shout out.
But regardless, Mr. Ange Postecoglou, he's a madman. He's a madman. I did say that I felt like these first three matches, at minimum, would have these other opponents. The managers don't really know how to game plan, and I think the unfamiliarity, the uncertainty about how he's going to set up in the Premier League has played into our favor. I would also say that a little bit of Manchester United just aren't at the level that we are at, which is something to say because how long have they had Erik ten Hag? And he's been trying to instill his philosophy for how long? I don't even know. I'm not a Manchester United fan, but he's been there longer than Ange, and I know that much. And Ange, in this short amount of time, the amount of work that he's put into this squad, absolutely phenomenal. Michael, I think that is why you showed up. You're like, all right, I'm going to show up to the barbecue, but I'm not going to swim. I'm not really hungry.
I'm just going to chill first. Like, I'm gonna grab a cold brew. I'm going to grab a brewski, and I'm going to hang out. And nah, bro, I'm in the pool. Like,
you're here. Yeah, you thought you were just coming for a beer to hang out.
Right now. I'm lit. Pool right now.
That's what I'm saying. You thought you were just going to show up and keep it casual, but you in it now.
Club's bumping. Music's playing. Vibes are, Big Ange is the DJ. He's on the sticks. And I'm right here, man. I'm right here.
Talk to me. Yeah. Dr. Ange is in the house. I love it. Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now, man.
I love it. Well, I do want to say also, please do partake in the poll. Anyone who's live right now, or if you're watching this back on playback, hit that like button. It costs absolutely nothing. Bring beer to the barbecue. We're already here. We're in the pool. We have our trunks on. Some of us are still skeptical on coming. I'm looking at you, Scott, and you don't even know if you're going to show up to the barbecue. But guess what? There's always room for you here at the barbecue. But partake in that poll. Let us know where y'all are at. 28 votes so far in regards to how are we feeling after yesterday's result. 46% is in the lead, says happy so far, more work to do. Come on, you Spurs. And then 32% says Ange is the father of everyone. And I really like that. I think that one spoke to me a lot. And I think that would be my answer today. Ange is the father of everyone, but also I feel happy so far. There's much more work to do. I think there's much more to come from us, especially once we get our attack, our front three firing on all cylinders. I thought, Sonny was much improved, but the other two much declined. We'll get into it, but you know what? I'm still very pleased with what I'm seeing. Obviously, as you've mentioned, we've got a motherfucking Sarr boy on our hands, and what a beautiful treasure. Some people said this, that. I think we got to bring back the Paratici. I don't think we got to bring it back because
at this
think
point,
about it. Sarr, Udogie, Bentancur. You can say Kulusevski, but
Udogie, Emerson, There's many guys
Pedro
on this
Porro,
roster.
I mean-
Porro. There's many guys on this roster for sure that you can definitely see that Fabio has had an impact, and that was something that we were talking about too, man. After the match, we were just like,
Richarlison technically too.
yeah, but we were saying, bro, like what. I just can't believe the transformation that we've seen from some of these players under a new manager. Like it's absolutely night and day compared to last year to this. Let's get into some comments first. Let's check in with the chat.
Who got number one?
We feeling.
Yeah,
And
who got number one? Kate with just a girl who loves Spurs. Big up Jacob and Michael.
Big up. Go ahead and like and subscribe to her channel. She's definitely a very, very well knowledgeable and very educated Spurs fan who has a lot of great opinions. So please make sure to go hit a like and sub on her channel as well. Israel, all aboard the Ange train.
Toot, toot. Talk to me nicely, yeah.
Gabrielle checking in. What's up, Gabe? What's going on? What's going on? Adrian, as
Big
always,
up.
good evening. Good evening. Hamzy says, we told you in Ange we trust. Fitness and skills will be better in the next few months. Ange teaches this. You saw United were very tired after 80. Spurs were fitter. It was definitely a tale of two halves, my friend, for sure. Roy says, evening all. What's going on, Roy?
Big up,
Chris,
Roy.
as always, big supporter of the channel. Glad to see you in the chat again, my friend.
Big up,
Welcome
Chris.
in, welcome in, welcome in. Elvis, evening, Jacob in chat.
Another
Saturday
YouTube
wasn't
chat.
bad, was it? It's still early, but I'm a little excited for this. See, I'm in the same boat, Elvis. Except I'm not a little anymore. I am very excited for the rest of the season, and it's kind of weird because now I want more. I want midweek football. I want like everyday Ange ball. Like at this point, just inject it. Like just give me an IV right here, Ange ball. That way, it's
Inject
just
it.
directly into my veins at all times. I'm just like hooked up to the Ange IV. I'll be good to go.
Stick it in.
Ange is a winner, says Hamzy. I saw this in Australia firsthand. He will give everyone excitement. He already has, my friend, for sure.
Big up, Hansi. Big up all the
you said
Australians.
earlier,
Good morning. It's
big
good
up the
morning for
Aussies.
them.
G'day, mate. Big up all of you and big up Ange. But yeah, for sure, he's giving all of us excitement. It's been very, very great to see. Martin, evening, Jacob and chat. Coys. Yep, Coys. And then Scott, would love to hear your opinions on the match, my friend. I know you're not exactly an Ange believer yet, at least 100%. So hopefully yesterday's result got you a little bit closer to that line. Milton says, good morning or good afternoon, everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is well. Jacob, how good is it to have Spurs back playing free-flowing football? Good times ahead. Coys.
Big up, Milton Nobrega. Good morning. Good morning.
Big up, Dan. He says, big up, Jacob and Mike. Big up yourself, my friend. Thank you for joining
Big
us
up,
today.
Dan.
How are we doing, lads? J-Co, yo, how are you doing, man? Because I know you're hype. I know everyone in this chat is hype right now. Tell us how you're feeling. Make sure to hit a vote in the poll as well. Right now we're at 33%. Ange is the father of everyone. 50% happy so far.
Oh, yeah.
Work to do, Coy. So I think everyone is leaning
On them-
towards
on them
happy
vibes.
so far, but kind of keeping a level head.
Hey, you see that
I'm here to tell you
3%
right
said
now,
one
this
vote.
is not the stream to keep a level head. This is the immaculate vibe stream right here. So if you wanted any other type of vibe, go ahead and go to any other channel. But right now the vibes are immaculate. So if you're looking to just chill out and talk about just what an incredible performance it was yesterday, you're in the right place. Scott's already says, "Don't do it, Michael. Don't do it, my guy." I already told you. I'm in the pool. Ange is on the sticks on the DJ. He's already playing my music, man. I'm already jumping. I'm bumping. And I hope you are too. Callum says, here for the immaculate vibes. You're in the right place, my friend, particularly as an anecdote to some Spurs YouTube infighting elsewhere. Chris is checking in. Savage chat was tasty. Need Jacob's calm. Yeah, go ahead and check them out. I know they're having some heated debates over there as well.
Big up, Sav at the Football Heritage TV.
Big up. Peanut says, how good is Bissouma? If Rice is 105 mil, how much is he? If Rice is 105 mil, Bissouma's worth 300 million. Just on his first two appearances alone this season, and then as well as how well he played in the preseason, he is an absolute beast. So let's take a little break. Let's take a little break from the chat right now because Jacob, we have a lot to get into today. And first,
Big up, Julian.
let's get into the goal scorers. I know one of them was technically an own goal. Ben Davies got on the score sheet to kind of like. Well, I guess technically didn't, but we'll just call it whatever, man. He got in the right place at the right time. He nicked the ball. I know he didn't touch it last. But the first goal of the game goes to a man, a boy, a Sarr boy, who scored his first career goal for the club. And what better way to do it, man, and against Manchester United in front of 60,000+ people in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hit the Marcus Rashford celebration at the end and everything. But Pape, Matar,
Ay,
Sarr.
papi. Ay, papi. Ay.
All right, man. So in all seriousness, let's just dive right into this one, man, because what a fucking performance from the lad. By far, his best performance in the Spurs shirt. I know he's had some really good performances before, and I know, there's been some debates about why Conte dropped him after some good performances, especially in the Champions League that we saw last season as well. But Jesus Christ, man, we have an absolute star on our hands in all seriousness. I know we've been calling him Sarr Boy over the past 24 hours, but I texted you before the game, and I said, as soon as we saw Sarr in the 11, I know we were both hyped. You texted me, you're like, all right, this is it. Like, it's Sarr's time. And what did I say? I said, if he has a good game or if he scores, he is undroppable at this point. And my friend, by the time that full-time whistle blew, the take could not be more true.
I think
what a performance, what a player.
I think you and I were talking at halftime that we were thinking he's doing so good. This is before the goal, that he was already getting well bedded in.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's, we were talking about who was disappointing me. You said Richarlison was pissing you off. I said Kulu was pissing me off. We both were sharing our frustrations there. And then almost at the same time, unprovoked, I said something good about Sarr. I said, wow, he's actually been pretty decent. Bissouma's been a boss and Sarr's been actually really decent. And you've been like, Sarr's been a boss this half. And then you know what? He had an even better second half. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but I love it when those things happen. I mean, when you think about the stage in which he did that, wow. Just wow. You got to be, the kid's 20 years old.
Going up against one of the best midfielders of all time, if you will, and Casemiro, very, very talented midfielders.
No doubt. But also one of the biggest brands in the world, Manchester United. That is not, you know what I'm saying? That's a big stage. And Papa Matar, like he did at the San Siro in Italy, he don't get, Ay, papi chulo. He doesn't care. He doesn't care one bit. Ay, Dios mío, papi chulo. I just love Papa Matar, Mr. Ay, papi. C Cube, cheers, you beautiful American Spurs boys. Jacob and Mike, what did I pick in the poll? I don't know, C Cube. Let me see. I think you're gonna say happy so far, more work to do. I don't know if you feel Ange is the father of everyone yet. You might be leaning more Scott. And Scott said earlier in the chat, shout out Scott, he did chime in, Mike. He said, I will not be attending any barbecue led by Ange. So he's not there yet. The invite is still on the table. Big up Caption Grandmas. Shout out all the YouTube chat members in the house as well. Want to big you up every single time. Big up all the Patreon members. Shout out Alan Tennant, Sibley, C. Shearman, etc.
Caption, you should be excited, my friend. If there's anything to take away from Sunday's result, other than a massive 3 points, obviously.
You should be
first win back at N17 since 2017, the last game at White Hart Lane. If there's anything other than that to get excited about, it's just the brand of football and the style in which we played.
Talk to me.
I know the first half was a little nervy, especially the first 20 minutes. We'll get into that in a little bit. We definitely had to grow into the game, but what a performance from the lads in the second half, because it was just domination.
Big up JS.
Big up.
Big up. Ange with the big donger. Ain't you right about that? He's showing everybody what he's got to work with, and you know what? Everyone hop aboard the Ange train. Got it right again, says CQ. All right, so I'm getting it better. You've been more consistently in the chat telling me how you feel, Cube, so big up for that. Hope you're doing well. Also, I see Gogama's in the chat. Haven't seen Gogama in quite some time. Big up Gogama.
Oh, there we go, Gogama. What's going on, Gogama?
Hello, Gogama. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Wonder how you're doing. Let us know. But big ups. Good to see you in the house again. Long time supporter of the channel. Shout out Ben Kaufman as well.
The one, the only, the legend. Welcome in, my friend. Thank you.
Ben, I don't know what you're talking about, but the vibes are immaculate here, so none of that business is going to be happening. I can tell you that much. Ay, papi chulo is what's on my mind. And I'm thinking, I forgot about the celebration. You just reminded me. Ice cold. He did the knee slide, stood up, and said, talk to me nicely.
Yep.
Hey,
what a performance, man. Let's just jump right into Sarr, because he was very, very impressive. And I think the most impressive thing for me was his maturity. You mentioned it already. Huge game. The stakes were very, very high, obviously. Ange's first official match, non-preseason match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. First of all, I want to give a big up to the protesters that were protesting peacefully across the street at the club shop due to the ticket price hikes. So definitely, we are definitely on their side. Please keep up the good fight. Please keep up the good work. Hopefully, the club listens to you guys. But the fans were absolutely incredible. Great atmosphere yesterday. It was one from across the pond on the telly. Obviously, I wasn't there. But what I can say is you guys were loud, you guys were proud, and it was one of the best atmospheres I think that a lot of people were saying since the 3-0 North London derby, the first one under Conte. So definitely you guys made a huge impact in that game as well. But yeah, man, his maturity, his awareness as well. He was getting into a lot of really good positions. Obviously, he got into a really good position for the goal. The important and the most impressive thing for me as well was his movement and his relentlessness. Because if you remember how that goal kind of developed, Sarr was the one that played it off to, I can't remember if it was Kulu or Porro specifically. He was the first one to kind of create that chance, if you will. He passed it out to the right-hand side, and then he kind of just made a run towards the middle of the pitch. He ran in between 4 Manchester United players. I believe it was Martinez, Mount, Casemiro, and someone else. And it was just that hunger, and it was just he wanted it more, which was why he ended up getting onto the end of it and ended up scoring his first goal for the club. But just the passion that he plays with, the happiness that he plays with as well, is really fun to watch. And I think that's something that a lot of the players are developing in that preseason under Ange, is the happiness, the relentlessness, and the desire, right, to want to play this brand of football, to want to be better for the manager, to want to be better for these fans, because they know we weren't in the easiest of moments last week's, right? Let's not forget that we had just sold our greatest ever player, at least in this century, arguably the greatest ever goal scorer this club has ever seen as well. And it's kind of like an afterthought, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even thinking about Harry Kane at all on Saturday. I know maybe in the first half some of us were like, oh fuck, if we had Kane he'd probably make that, or he probably would have finished that chance. But honestly, at the full-time whistle, I couldn't even care less about Harry Kane, man, just because of how well we played, because of the stars that are developing before our very eyes. Bissouma again, incredible performance. Madison again, incredible performance. The back line, all 4 people this time, incredible performance. But yeah, man, it was just so nice to have that brand of football back and be able to just say that we beat Manchester United at home at N17 for the first time since 2017.
Insane. That's insane. I mean, the last good memory I have versus United was when Lamella with the elbows, and he was playing a little slap boxing before it was technically a sport. So that's my man. Shout out Eric Lamella, trophy winner, the shithousery king. Could you imagine him and Romero on the same squad real quick? I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking. Oh my God, that'd be fantastic. I would sign up for that. 12 rounds of that. Anyway, but big up Chris Peters, says 87 watching. I see over 90 of y'all in the house. Yep. What are we looking like in the likes? 42 Shirley, but don't call me Shirley. We could be around 75 likes. My goal for each live stream we do here on United Spurs of America is to hit at least 100, and we've been doing that consistently. Well, we've been doing that, y'all been doing that. So shout out everyone who does like the video. Shout out everybody who partakes in that poll. We usually got about 20 people who partake in the poll but don't partake in the liking of the video, and that's fine. I always say you can do as you please here on this channel. We don't force you to hit the like or subscribe. You can choose to do that. Honestly, I suggest either you like it or you dislike. Let me know, because there's about 7 of y'all that be disliking the videos, and I see you. And you know what? You dislike it, that's fine. You live the hating ass lifestyle. The vibes are immaculate, so you still here. So you underneath it all, you still like it, even if you don't actually click the like. We know you like it. But big up everybody who does tune in, whether live or on playback. I do want to say shout out to everybody. Big up Chris Peters for keeping the chat accountable here, and reminding me, because oftentimes as content creator you can forget when you're lost in the sauce of conversation. But big up everybody who just smashed up on that like. We got it up to 60. I like that. Y'all showing the love. You know what I'm saying? Life can get you down enough, but we just won 2-0 versus United. What is there to be upset about? Yes, obviously, I think that the 2 spots in my position that I'm upset about and I'm concerned about is Richarlison and Kulusevski. But I'm still at the point where I'm like, I still give them all one more match. I said, give everybody, and what Ange wants to do, give them 3 matches and let's see what that looks like. And right now, 2 out of 3, Richarlison has failed. Kulusevski, 2 out of 3 has failed. I would say Son, 1 out of 3 has maybe failed. I think maybe if you classify the Brentford match as a fail, I'll accept that. But I thought out of the front 3, he was the only one that I really thought was doing anything out of the 3 most of that
I actually
match.
thought Kulusevski had a good second half too, man.
Yeah?
I think that he's getting a little bit
He
too
did
much hate.
He did have a couple good runs. Let me preface all that. I do remember there was a time I was like, okay, yeah, he did get fouled there.
And
when
his
I thought
run
he should have been
created
stronger,
the first
but-
goal. Like, who was the one on that end line that crossed it in?
That's true.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
dude,
it did
like,
bounce around from his
were
cross.
both,
You're right. Yeah.
We were both hating a lot. I can't lie. Like at halftime, me and you were both visibly upset with our attack again because they were largely ineffective. I know Son had created some really good chances in that first half, but obviously we didn't finish any of them. Excuse me. In the second half is where I really thought Kulusevski and Son really shine bright. And then the other thing I do want to say, I know I've been really hard on Richarlison. He was involved in the build-up for the first goal as well. I think I forget who Sarr played it to, and then he played it to Richarlison. Richarlison played it wide to Kulusevski. Kulusevski ended up creating that chance for Sarr to finish. They weren't as bad as Brentford. That's kind of obvious. Let's get that out in the air real quick. But Sonny, I thought actually was very, very effective in that second half. I think he had the most chances created and most final balls, I believe, most successful final balls out of any player on the pitch. And then Kulusevski as well, man, like creating a lot of really good chances. I think just that first half, he was trying to grow into that game along with a lot of the other attackers as well. But the second half, I think really they turned it around, in my opinion. And when we get to the ratings and we get into them, I'm not going to be as harsh because I really do think they had a really good second half. And I think it's just a matter of both of them actually getting on the score sheet. That way they can reap the benefits for what they sow, if that makes sense.
It's a good point. I mean, but Sonny is someone who didn't necessarily get a goal or an assist on the day. I thought the stats would back up at least the argument that he was pretty productive on both ends of the ball. I thought defensively much improved in his responsibilities. I think it's a new role for Son, Kulusevski, and Richarlison. So there is going to be this, when you buy a new shoe, you kind of got to wear it a little bit until it fits just right. It's one of those situations, I think. And that's why I'm not saying let's bench Richarlison, let's bench Kulusevski right now. I've always said I want to see what Ange has got with his formation for 3 matches. And then I think that gives you a good sample size of potentially what we could be looking at. So by no means, and I do agree with you that in the second half, Kulusevski was much improved. It's just, I would like to see more. There was only one time I really remember that he took the ball on his right foot and kept driving to the touchline. It was like, thank you. The defender was not expecting you to do that. He was occupying the space, anticipating you to cut in on your left foot like every single game film shows. You know what I'm saying? So to see him do something new, thank you. I think that if he could utilize that other foot just a little bit, go to the byline every other time, keep the defender guessing, then you can be a lot more effective. And I guess sometimes his lack of pace annoys me. It's not a knock on him. He's a talented, very talented footballer, but I don't know, Michael. Sometimes his lack of pace really.
You just want to see Orban on the end of those balls, the way he can just run past everyone. I know you.
Yes, I do.
No, it's fair, man. It's fair. Yeah, and I agree to a certain extent. Like sometimes it is frustrating when defenders can catch up to him, and he kind of has to cut back or pass it back, just so he doesn't turn the ball over. He did have that one really good chance where he was kind of breaking free and got fouled, literally at the halfway point of the field. I think it was by Lisandro Martinez, but like I said, I thought the second half, like the game in all, right, was a tale of 2 halves. Were much more dominant, much better in the second half, and I think that also correlated with our wing play as well. But I think let's just give them a little bit more time. They're still learning the system too, and like I said, I think it's just a matter of time before they actually do reap the benefits of what they're sowing right now. If you remember in that first half, the most impressive pass overall, or just like attacking threat that we had, in my opinion, was when Sonny was on the left, cut back and played that beautiful through ball to Madison. I don't know if you remember that, where everyone was kind of the Manchester United backline was kind of falling asleep. Madison was making kind of like an inverted run towards the outside of that left-hand side of the box, and Sonny played an absolute beautiful string of a ball to get him there. And unfortunately, we just couldn't end up finishing that chance. I think it was the chance that ended up creating for Porro's shot off the bar, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I think next game we're going to see a little bit more attacking threat in terms of like goal output, just because of also the opposition that's going to be lining up across from us in Bournemouth. It's going to be I don't want to say much easier game, but it's going to be an easier game than Manchester United. Let's be real. I don't care if it's away or not. I'm expecting us to beat Bournemouth by many, many goals next weekend. I'm obviously getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I think let's just give them time. Yeah. The one player that I am concerned of, though, and you've already mentioned it, is Richie. I thought Richie still has a lot more to give, in my opinion. I've been seeing people on Twitter and stuff saying that his movement was really good. He was getting into good spaces. While he was at times, there was still some moments where I was just like, dude, Richarlison, you have to play that to this player or that player instead of the decision that he made. But again, I'm going to be non-biased in terms of like I'm giving Kulu and Sonny more time. I know that they've been more threatening, right? And I think they gave us more than what Richie gave. But also Richie's playing in a different position, right? I think it's also about him getting enough service. I thought he got service at some times, but I thought that he maybe could have had some better chances. Both one, created by himself, and then two, created by the teammates around him. So like I'm trying to cut him some slack, but on the other end, I'm also trying not to be too lenient with him to the point where I'm like, all right, just give him time. Like every game where it's like, oh, just give him time. Oh, just give him time.
Young treatment. Give him time to build up confidence.
I mean? Yeah.
That's why I said 3 matches for Richie. That's enough time to build up your damn confidence.
Hey, your deadline's coming. Your deadline's approaching for Richie. That's what I'm saying. You better get it kicked into gear.
I don't like to put players in boxes and say this is what they can and cannot do. So I don't want to do that to Richarlison. Don't want to cage the pigeon, so to speak. Yeah. Let the pigeon fly, you know? So that's where I'm at with it. Big up Irish Hotspur. Big up Dave Harris.
Big up.
Did a great post-game react over there. Been doing.
Go ahead and like and sub on that channel as well, please.
One of the top 2 places on YouTube for Spurs content, I must admit. And the other one is me in here with Michael. We've been doing, now this is our second post-match, Michael. I'm really pleased that we've been doing this. The vibes have been immaculate. Shout out to everybody in the chat as well. If you do have a question, like Spurs GCTV did with a little Q, it helps me in my little squirrel brain go and see it, and I'll star it, and we'll bring it up later. I got a few of these starred, so big ups to everyone. Also want to say big up Goguma hitting us with a super sticker.
Hey, big up Goguma. Thank you so much.
Let me look on YouTube. It is a
5,001, right? Fox. That's one, right?
That's 5,001, yeah.
Yeah, one. Nice.
So it's a super sticker of a fox saying bravo. So she's saying bravo. I don't know what we did, but maybe we should take a bow. Thank you so much.
She might be saying bravo to the performance, which in all fairness, bravo. Yes, bravo.
Bravo indeed. But big ups everybody in the chat. Yeah, that'll help me if you don't want to do the whole super chat thing. You can do a super chat. We'll talk about it immediately. But if you just hit a Q, do the freeway. I don't want to like single file people into doing one thing that costs money. Just hit the like, hit a Q like this comment right here, and I'll see it. So we'll talk about this one real.
I'll hit her with the deli heart. I was gonna go this heart, but I'm gonna hit her with the deli heart. Thank you so much.
Goguma's back in the chat. What is the next level beyond immaculate vibes? Because if we've been keeping the immaculate vibes all summer, waiting for Goguma, now that she's here, how do we take it? What is the next echelon above immaculate vibes? We'll find out. Maybe on next week's show. We'll find out. But big up Goguma. I'm so glad you're here.
Big up Goguma, legend of the channel, longtime supporter too. She's been here since the beginning, so just appreciate all the support. And just real quick, Jacob, before we get into what you wanted to talk about next, just want to say 118 people are in here watching right now. Just wanted to say a massive thank you from the bottom of my heart, just on behalf of Jacob and I. We've been on a pretty long journey with this channel. I know Jacob's been holding down the fort for pretty much all of the summer while I've been dealing with some work stuff, and my schedule just wasn't, our schedules just weren't matching up for a while. So I just want to say thank you to Jacob also for the relentlessness that you give this channel to, man. I appreciate you, and I'm sure the rest of the chat does. But real quick, like while all of you guys are in here, just appreciate everyone for tuning in. Please hit that like, please hit the subscribe button, and then if you want us to talk about anything that you would like to see, definitely let us know in the chat. I already see some comments coming in, kind of like Jacob was alluding to, but just want to say real quick, just a massive thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we wouldn't be here without you guys, right?
Right.
If it wasn't for you guys, it would just be me and Jacob sitting here bullshitting, which, I mean, I guess we were for a while there.
We did that for a
we
minute.
went for a while there. But just want to say, seriously, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. And if you guys have any suggestions for any future content, definitely let us know. I know some of our members have already been doing that, but if you have any suggestions, let us know what you guys want to see too. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Big up yourselves. We love all of you.
And partake in that poll and let us know what your thoughts and feelings are after yesterday's result. That's also something you'll get here on the channel. Never going to ask you to hit a like and subscribe in the poll and block you from the chat. What I will do is ask you how you feeling, what you thinking, and I try to represent everybody, all ranges, from the super moist to the super dry desert. Try to represent all factions from there and in between. So again, the vibes are always meant to be kept immaculate. There will be passionate debates from time to time, but you know what? That's just part of the reason why we all love Spurs. We all want the same thing at the end of the day, right? We all want the same thing. The first question I have starred is from Dry Rose Peanut. Didn't actually do the queue, but Dry Rose Peanut is a regular, so I want to make sure I did not miss it. This was about 11 minutes ago. It says, do you think Richarlison gets 15 goals this season in the league? Would you get a new big-name striker or a younger option as competition? I'll answer this real quickly. I would say, regardless of where we think Richarlison is or going to be with this squad, we need another guy. That's just plain and simple, in my opinion. As far as 15 goals this season in the league, I don't think so. I don't think he's ever done that in his career. But I'm not saying he can't. I just don't think he will. But, you know, if he gets a hat trick versus Bournemouth, then we might be talking a different story. What about you, Michael?
I just need to see some more from him before I can act like... It's hard for me to say yes, right? Just be based on what happened last season and what's been going on the last 2 games. I would lean more in the favor of no, just non-biased. I would love for him to get 15 or more goals this season. Honestly, at this point, though, I could really care less where the goals are coming from as long as we're winning. And we're seeing success and development under Ange. Would you like to get a new big-name striker or a younger option as competition? It would be nice, obviously, to get a new big-name striker. Yeah, right? Yes. It would be nice. Do I think it's going to happen? No. So I'm going to say younger option is competition. Give me gift or give me death. That's where I'm at this point.
Give me death. I kind of like that. Big up Dry Rose Peanut for that question. Got another one here from effing hell. Says, problem is, if you put Richarlison out, who's going to play there instead?
That's the other question, right? It's like we saw a little bit of Sonny in the second half.
Yeah,
20 minutes of Sonny at the 9, or at least in that central role. I know he was kind of dropping back a little bit too, but I mean, it's got to be Dane Scarlett, right? That's the only other option besides Son.
Scarlett. We still ain't got rid of Parrot yet, so we got a Scarlett, we got a Parrot.
Oh, we're not seeing Parrot, dude. Come on.
Alejo Veliz.
Yeah, he's got to get his permit right first or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
and Postecoglou did allude to the fact that he's like, this guy's gonna chill for about a year, probably is the plan, and I'm fine with that. You know, if you think, you know, like Papa Matar, let's let him chill at Stade Rennes. Is that where he was?
Yeah,
no, it wasn't Rennes, or it was Reims.
Who? Wait, sorry, who?
Papi Matar.
Oh, Metz.
Mm-hmm. I get to all.
They got relegated his last season. He was there.
Shout out Winks for that. But that's my choice. Is I would put Sonny down the middle and then put Solomon out left. That's where Solomon likes to operate. Let's see what he can do, and then bring Perisic on at say minute 60 for Solomon, and then maybe Richarlison for Kulusevski, and then kind of flip them around a little bit. You know, I like the Ange is going to be fluid with it either way.
See, Sherman says the New York Mets. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good joke.
But that's for me effing hell. I mean, I'm not saying I'd do it yet. I've always said from the jump, get three matches, bro. If you're not clicking after 3 matches, something's not right, and you need to reevaluate yourself on the bench.
I think the other thing that everyone needs to take into consideration, and including me, just because we've been so used to Conte basically playing the same 11 week in, week out, I think you're going to see a lot more rotation like we've already seen in 2 games, right? Emerson had a decent game. He scored one of the goals against Brentford. He was, I mean, I don't want to say dropped, but he was replaced by Porro in the 11. Skip didn't have like a terrible performance by any means. Even Ange said it. He was replaced by Sarr in the 11 as well. Like, I just think we're going to see more variety of lineups, which is exciting to see, right? It's going to be more unpredictable for us to predict, right? Like in terms of like who's going to be in the 11, how are we going to expect this game to play out? It's going to be more unpredictable, but that's also on the other side of that coin. It's a good thing, right? It's good to be more unpredictable in terms of other sides game planning when they're playing us.
Mm.
Honestly, dude, I have no idea who the next 11 is going to be. We'll obviously maybe predict that later, or we may not even get to it. But like honestly, I don't even expect to see the same 11 against Bournemouth. I really don't, because the other thing is what was interesting in the post-match comments was Ange said, "Nah, mate, like they didn't like play themselves out of favor." He was talking about Skip and Emerson. He was just like, "I have guys that I need to see. And I'm not going to be able to see him unless I put them and throw them into these situations." And one of those guys was Porro, right? A lot of people, we were debating a lot last week, and I think everyone was debating a lot last week. Well, what's his plan with Porro, right? Like, he's probably going to need a lot of work just because of his defensive game. Motherfucker threw him in against Manchester United, and he had one of his best performances, if not the best performance he's had in a Spurs shirt, in my opinion. Like, he was good. I know we talked about it, Jacob. He got out of position. He got caught out a couple times early on. He needed to grow into the game like a lot of other players, but for the most part, my fucking right back, man. And I would not be mad if he just had a constant rotation between Emerson and Porro. And why not?
But he's mentioned that too, that he wants depth at every position. So at any moment, whenever he feels the necessity, he can say, "No, Emerson's not right for United. Let me put Pedro Porro in there." And I love the fluidity. That's something we missed. As an Antonio Conte fan, that's something that super frustrated me all the time with the manager, was the fact that let's see some subs, let's see some rotating of the 11, but no. And we just stuck in, and it just was tough after a while. But you know what? I agree with you. I would not mind seeing a little fluctuation at every position to consistently see on a long term anyway. Another question, the question from Spurs GCTV says, "Do you expect changes for the next match?"
Absolutely.
I think Ange will mix it up again. And this is kind of, we're already answering it, but yeah, I do think so, 100%. But I still see Richarlison starting. You got to get this guy clicking, right? You've got to think, if you're Ange Postecoglou, going with this front three again, get it right. Let's see if we can get. I mean, if you look at Son from week 1 to week 2, there was an increase. If you look at Richarlison, week 1 to week 2, there was a decline. Same thing with Kulusevski, in my opinion.
You think he had a worse performance in Brentford, Richarlison?
I thought he was
slightly
I thought he was
but
worse.
honestly, the bar wasn't very high to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
thought Kulu played worse than at Brentford?
I thought Kulu played worse versus United than at Brentford. I thought he was better at Brentford.
He was awful at Brentford.
He at least was passing the ball.
He created the first goal. What are you talking about?
I mean, he didn't really create it. Like
Yes, he did. He crossed it in.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Okay.
I don't know, bro. I didn't think he was that good.
I thought he was better at Brentford personally. That he was worse versus United. Maybe it's just because I'm watching him with more scrutiny. I want to see more from him. I'm expecting more from him. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I expect changes for the next match. Definitely.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see Solomon. I'd like to see some guys get some game time that, in my opinion, I think deserve it. I wouldn't even mind seeing Perisic start next week either, whether it be on the right or the left. But the one thing that I will say, though, and if you don't mind, I want to get into it, is this midfield, man. I'm just, each game that passes by, I'm just falling more and more in love with this midfield. James Madison, Pape, Matar, Sarr, and Bissouma could not be fucked with yesterday, man. Let's get into your boy Busy Boy, because again, voted player of the match by the Premier League for the game and his performance. What are your overall thoughts, man? Because Jesus Christ, we have a player on our hands.
This is the guy we always thought we were getting from Brighton. This is the guy that we always thought he was going to be. I had an interesting discussion about Bissouma and the fact of like why it wasn't really effective. I think it was over there on the Irish Hotspur yesterday, and I didn't ever feel like Bissouma's not talented enough to play well in a Conte system. I just think it was the factors of having long COVID, coming back, and then the performance he had at West Ham. It was his first start.
That wasn't great.
He had a horrible performance. And then I think like when you're frustrated, you don't feel the love, you don't feel the openness from your manager. You more feel that like get the job done or your head's gone kind of vibe. It's a lot different. So I don't think it's necessarily that Bissouma wasn't a good player last season more than it was the system. The vibe just wasn't right for the guy.
Yeah.
He's a completely different person now that we've seen from behind the scenes than who he was last season. So absolutely thrilled with the guy. Man of the match performance per the Premier League for both. So now he's got two out of two. I mean, there's nothing bad you could say about this man other than he gave the ball away once in a dumb way. He did like a step over, and then I think it was just a tired leg.
He megged Casemiro too.
With a back heel, wasn't it?
With a back heel.
Disgusting.
It was absolutely incredible, man. Like, I honestly don't really have, like, there's not a whole lot of new words that I can say to describe him at this point because I feel like we just gassed him up so much last week, and rightfully so. But, like, again, it's just so hard. Other than Sarr, right? And obviously we'll pick our man of the match, our BDE of the match, all that good stuff at the end. But like, it's just so hard not to put him in contention again for player of the match. Like, he has just been so good, progressing the ball, getting back defensively, running through the midfield. There were so many times him and Madison, it just seemed like they were playing amongst like 10-year-old school kids, like in the playground at recess. Like, it honestly did. Mason Mount was nowhere to be seen yesterday. Casemiro,
I saw him grabbing his ankles after Van de Ven took him. I saw
Casemiro still pulling up his pants from when Bissouma pantsed him.
Ooh, that was nasty. I did see the highlight this morning on YouTube. The back-heeled nutmeg of Casemiro. Bro, just so
Bruno
casual.
Fernandes still recovering from the worst header I have ever seen in my life. Just all three of their midfielders. I know Bruno had a couple chances to score. He had that header, and then he actually had a really decent curler of a shot that Vicario ended up saving.
Interesting statistic on Bruno, though. He had more tears post-match than he did opportunities at goal. So make of that what you will. That's your captain, United.
Very hypocritical, too. With,
that's your captain.
That VAR.
Oh, my God. Last week he's talking about that's just the way the ref sees it. And then after this one, he's like, "You didn't give me the freaking."
I'm expecting an apology in the dressing room right now. I'm gonna go and wait.
You didn't see.
But nah, man. In all seriousness, the midfield
Bruno
right now.
Fernandes needs some milk.
The midfield is the most impressive part of our formation, in my opinion, so far in these two games. The back line was obviously incredible yesterday as well, but Jesus Christ, man, we have, like, with this system and the players that Ange has been putting out there in the three, like, even with the rotation, even like putting in Skip, man, like, I'm just so excited to continue to see these guys develop, right? And I know people have been a little harsh on Skip based on his performance last week. I know he didn't have the best performance, but like, if there's anyone that's going to grow with this system and just like the type of mentality that he has, it's going to be Oliver Skip, man. Let's give him some time, because I truly do think he can become a good player in an Ange Postecoglou system. He may not have as much natural talent as like a Sarr or a Bissouma, if you will, but I guarantee you the one thing that he does have is the work ethic. Let's give him time, let Ange cook with him, and I'm still confident that we have a very, very good player on our hands. He's still very young, but in terms of this rotation right now, I'm feeling very, very good about this midfield, dude. Like, this midfield is just levels above, I would say 18, 17, I would even say 19 teams or 18 teams in the Premier League, only behind City right now, just based on current performance. Like, this midfield is to be reckoned with.
Wow. I mean, you can argue that when we get Mr. Bentancur back in health,
even without him,
be something.
Look at what we're doing, man. The most passes out of any team so far in the league. Once again, we led all teams in match week 2 in total passes. We had 502 passes against United yesterday. And correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong, but I saw yesterday late into the afternoon that we had the most passes amongst all teams so far in the league. And it's just really good to see, man, because we're creating a lot of opportunities. 17 shots, 6 on target, 56% possession against a team where last season, both times, we were absolutely dominated. Wasn't even really close. Even the season before when Ronaldo shat on us too. Like, it's just so nice to see, man.
What I liked the most was the fact that you saw big up Goguma for another super sticker as well.
Big up Goguma, thank you so much.
It's the fox punching, so big up Goguma for the punching fox. The thing that impressed me the most was we knew this was not going to be like the way Brentford set up. We knew Manchester United was going to try and go toe to toe with us, and we saw that first 30 to 40 minutes. They were really nervous. They were willing to go there and fight us in the creek. And guess what? They didn't want to stay there with us. We came out that second half. We came prepared for another 45 of back and forth, end to end, and they didn't want that business again. They said, you know what, the second 45, then they started letting us bring it to them a little bit more. And what had happened? The natural thing, when too much water's in them pipes, eventually
I drew a graph. The more you fuck around, then the more you find out it was all the way up here. They did around and they fought and they found out.
They were pretty decent that first 30, 40 minutes, honestly. They were pressing us really well. They were suffocating us. They were making it very hard for us to play out of the back, which I thought Sicario was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was calmer in his distribution. He wasn't as anxious as we saw away at Brentford last week, which I like that he's settling in.
He made some absolutely phenomenal saves too.
Are we talking about him?
You want to talk about Venom?
We're talking about
Venom.
Sicario, my man. Everyone was doubting this guy.
People were doubting.
They were saying,
doubting last week.
Does he got it? Maybe he doesn't catch the ball well enough. He looks anxious, a madman behind the sticks. And you know what? I loved it when they called him a madman, a psycho.
He is.
Bro, that's how I operated my box.
Yeah.
That's how you operate a box. You the young guy, you coming in there, you got to show them who you are. You know what I'm saying? And he's answered every question that people have been asking of him. The critiques that he's gotten, he's proved all of them. He had a phenomenal performance, and I think it's overshadowed by how bright the shining Sarr was. But let's not take anything away from this young man. That his Tottenham home debut, if you think about it, his Tottenham home second Premier League start of his life, and he absolutely stood on his head. There was 3 saves. One of them was offsides. So let's say 2 saves, absolutely phenomenal saves that I don't think.
Including the third one too. Are you talking about the Varane header?
The one that was offside? I think it was Varane.
It was the Varane header, right? Like in this 96. Dude, I'm counting that. I don't give a fuck. It was nice. It was it was a good save.
Counted up.
And they counted it, right?
No.
If they counted, they didn't.
They didn't because he was offsides. They didn't count
I'm counting it in my book.
Because it was going to be a corner for them because it was a sick-ass save. Yeah. It was going to be a corner, but they're like, no, it was offside, so that way. That's why they didn't count it. But unfortunately, they didn't count it. In my heart, it is counted. I seen it. I see you, Sicario. Goguma. Some people call him Venom. I call him Sicario. There's a movie, Michael, you might know it. It's called Sicario. It's about Mexico, USA, gang shit.
Cartel.
Cartel, gang shit. If you want to see some shit, go watch that.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a good action film. Good action film.
Good movie.
And that's what I named him that, because he's about that action. He got that. He's got that.
Dog.
He got that dog in his heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like to see. Udogie, he's got that dog in him. Van de Veen's got that dog in him. Romero's always had that. He's been that Rottweiler on the block that you scared to go around.
You gotta chain him up, because if you let him loose,
hey, don't let him loose.
Don't let him loose.
Don't let him loose. He comes with a warning sign, that boy. I love Christian Romero. I love him so much. I just want to always say that each and every time that I love Christian Romero. And you know what? Christian Romero loves you.
He was phenomenal, man. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Let me pose this to you real quick. Was this when was the last time you were happy with the way your back line performed in an entire 90 minutes? Yes, there was opportunities. They had a couple chances that they did not capitalize. Not my fault.
So the only knock that I'll give the back line was just the our aerial duels weren't very. I don't know the exact statistic on it, but more specifically, and I had texted you this at halftime, they get caught out of position in the box too often for my liking when the opposition crosses the ball in very quick from the midfield specifically. We saw Bruno do that, and then I forgot who crossed it into Bruno for his terrible header attempt, but there were 2 big chances that United missed. It might have been Garnacho. 2 big chances that both Romero and Van de Ven kind of had their pants down, if you will. They were just like caught out of position. They were kind of like just kind of in the mud, if you will. Like it just kind of looked like they were in slow motion trying to catch up to the opportunity that United had created. Other than that, you're right. Like, I honestly can't remember the last time I've been this satisfied with a backline performance, especially with that clean sheet. Honestly, I think the last time I've been happy with the backline was that 3-0 victory against Arsenal over a season ago, man. Like, it's been a very, very long time. There may be other, performances that I'm forgetting, obviously, but like, just the one that pops into my head is that North London derby, just because we kept the clean sheet also. But Van de Ven, I thought, was the one that got caught out of position the most amongst the two, if we're gonna like single one guy out. But he's still growing, right? He's still adapting to the play style, to the level of football as well. Let's not forget that he came from the Bundesliga. Definitely a different style of league and just different quality in the Premier League. But Romero and Van de Ven were excellent outside of that. Just being able to track back, being able to hold their own in 2v2 situations or like 2v3 situations when United tried to catch us on the counterattack and our fullbacks were already high up the pitch, Udogie and Porro. But other than that, very, very solid showing from the back line. There's still obviously some more work to do, but what about you? How did you feel about him?
I was pretty much satisfied. Like I said, I've always felt like we were going to concede. Every prediction I've made for us has always had us conceding goals. So Jazz Fusion says the back lost Manchester's men for 3 uncontested headers. And then Scott M also says the highlights showed a lot of United miss sitters. Was that
there was
not
like
due
2 or
to
3
the back line?
2 or 3, and I mean,
it is.
Also, though, Vicario had some good saves on him. You know what I mean? Like, on the other side of that, if we didn't have a good keeper, they probably would have scored. So, like, he's also a part of that back line. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that last line of defense. But
they're growing, y'all. They're growing, y'all.
I was pretty pleased. Yeah, Udogie wasn't as solid as he was last week. Van de Ven wasn't perfect statistically like he was last week, and he did get turned around a couple times, and Romero wasn't able to get there for him. And there was another time Romero got caught out, slid.
Yeah, there was the Rashford. I think it was the Rashford opportunity where he just was a step too late.
But if you have one mistake a match, that's a pretty damn good match in my opinion. And if the back,
we just got to get them to the point where they don't have any. You know what I mean? Because when we start to play the Cities and the Liverpools and
they're going to capitalize
Arsenals,
on that, or even a United again if they come in form,
at Old Trafford or something. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that is something that we want to.
There's room for improvement. There's room for improvement, but they're doing fine in my opinion.
The style that we're playing leads itself to you conceding naturally because you're playing so high up. So I'm not that concerned.
I think they just have to be a little bit more mentally tough, like in terms of positioning, right? Just awareness. And then also they just got to grow together, right? The communication one, they need to communicate a little bit more on those type of opportunities where like they're just getting caught out of position. And I'm sure it's going to be one of the main things that the backline's going to address in film this week, which is why I'm not too worried about it. Because again, like, imagine if we had fucking Dyer, like Ben Davies in center back instead of Van de Ven. You know what I mean? Like
2 matches, he's not even near the 18. Talk to me nicely, Eric Dyer.
The only nice thing I'll say
now.
The only nice thing that I'll say, I will say one nice thing about Eric Dyer, and it was I'm just glad that he was there to give Dele Alli company while he was watching us beat Man United. That's the only good thing I'll ever say about Eric Dyer right now. Thanks for keeping my boy company.
Yeah,
in the press box.
Good job on that. But
you can stay up there.
You can also text Dave Portnoy during the match to keep you company. How about that, Mr. Eric Dyer? You can text Dave. Y'all can go out for pizza and just laugh at how we never win anything. But this time, you'll just be a pedestrian, a civilian, if you will. That's the way I like it. Big up Howie, all the way from Canada, showing some love to El Paso. Big up from Toronto, from YouTube's. Big up. I got a question here for you, Michael, from CQ'd. Are you going to be watching Bayern games now to root for Harry Kane?
I haven't watched any Bayern games, and I don't really plan on it unless I don't have anything to do. I think I watched like 20 minutes of his first game at Bayern, which was the Super Cup or whatever, the German Cup, the Pokal, or I don't know. No, it wasn't the Pokal. I don't know. It was the German Cup, right? It was his first appearance. I watched like 20 minutes of it before I fell asleep just because I think I was tired during that day. But I am not going out of my way to watch Bayern Munich. Sorry, Cubed, if you were expecting me to say yes, because everyone knows I love Harry Kane, but I'm a Tottenham fan first. I'm a Tottenham man first. So Who is Harry Kane? But no, I haven't watched any Bayern games. I'll always root for Harry Kane. I don't have anything bad to say about him. And I don't like wish him no success by any means, but like I'm not going out of my way to watch Bayern Munich. Sorry if there's anyone that does, but that's just not me.
Hey,
I'm a one club man.
One club man. I plead the fifth. Good thing this question wasn't directed at me. Alan Bennett
Yeah,
says
he's been watching more Kane footage than I have at Bayern. So
I'm still in the stage of Titanic, you know, never let go. But I'm fucking frozen. Just let me go and I'll die in the bottom of the sea, Harry Kane. But he's still got me watching. I knew he was playing the other day and I watched him get that assist. I've seen him give that assist to Sonny so many times, but instead of Sonny, it was Sane. And then he also got the goal. And then I did a show so I didn't have to watch the rest of his game. So yes, I have.
You want me to take this one first?
I'll let you start with this one.
I feel like this probably should be answered by me first.
Go ahead.
I do not feel sorry for Poach. So just to give a little background to my day-to-day, I was in Kansas City yesterday and then this morning for my sister's 21st birthday. Shout out Bella, happy 21st. It is her birthday today. I knew you were gonna do it. I knew you were gonna put it up there. You all know how I feel about Poach, Pochettino. Used to be my dad. I have a new daddy, and his name is Ange Postecoglou. I was actually watching the West Ham and Chelsea match on the flight home since it was on USA. It's one of the free channels that they give you on Southwest to watch. So luckily, I was able to burn some time and make the flight go by a little bit faster. And I was enjoying every single minute of it, outside of the 1 minute where I forgot his name, Messi or whatever his name is, when he scored for Chelsea. Outside of that, I was having a very, very great time watching that game. So, in short, no. He is getting what he deserves for going to that club. No, I do not feel sorry for him. I'm very happy he lost today. What about you, Jacob?
I don't feel sorry for him at all. Why would you feel sorry for somebody
He chose to be there,
walking into the pool and then being like, I got wet? Yeah, you win that nasty slime cesspool filled with whatever bug. There's some kind of bug in the waters that'll give you diarrhea, and that's where he's at right now, and he's realizing it. I mean, he looked like a hostage in his announcement video. If you watch it back, I'm pretty sure he was cuffed to the chair either by ankle or wrist. They forced him to do it, and you know what? Not sorry. You walked there. You chose to live that life. We never called him. We moved on. I've moved on. I've moved on from Conte as well, which is why I think, you know, once you can move on, you can fully embrace the Ange train.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put it out there. His last name is not Pochettino. I know you guys like to call him Poch for short. It is Poach. It is Mauricio Pochettino. So I will always call him Poach because that is the correct pronunciation. Sorry, guys. Sorry to all my England friends.
I was waiting for that. Yeah. I think it's just
Pochettino. It's not Pochettino. Sorry,
Pochettino. Big up Marshall in the house. Shut up, YouTubes. Coming here saying you'll take care of Harry Kane. Shut up. I'll be watching, you bastard. Got another question here from Chris. This was about 25 minutes ago. Questions for both Jacob and Michael. Would you drop Richarlison and play Sonny Central and play Solomon on the left? Not yet. I would not yet. I might even, just because of the opponents, because it's I mean, we got Bournemouth, then we got Fulham in the cup, and then it's Burnley, and then it's Sheffield. So I might still extend that run just a little bit longer. But Michael, what about you?
So I've been on the fence, but for the sake of continuity and what we officially said on this channel, I think it was you speaking on behalf of the both of us, but I'm going to agree with you also. I'm going to give him the 3-game kind of crutch that you were, the 3-game test, if you will. After that, low key. Now, hey, let's keep this low key, okay?
Hey,
like
low key. Don't tell nobody.
Low key.
Don't tell nobody.
I would rotate Scarlett for Richie against Fulham for at least 55 minutes, 60 minutes.
55 minutes of the day, Scarlett.
Dude,
you think ready
anyone can score in the system.
Bro.
I say that, and Richarlison hasn't, and Son hasn't, and Kulusevski hasn't. But look at the other players that have scored for us. Literally, all of our goals have been from non-attacker/strikers. Like, let's just think about that for a sec. That is how I don't want to say like unpredictable. Like that's how much variety we have in terms of like who our goal scorers can be, just because of the system that we play and the style of football that we can. So that's why I'm more inclined to give Scarlett a chance rather than like in a Conte system, right? Where like you just need a Kane up there that's relentless, who needs to take that 1 or 2 chances that he gets a match and bury them, or else we don't get a result out of that performance. It's just, I would feel more comfortable playing Richie, obviously, with more because he has more experience.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, if Richie doesn't score next week and Postecoglou rotates Scarlett in for that League Cup match, I wouldn't be mad. That's all I'll say. Because also
Ellie in the house.
So, big up Ellie.
Big up
Legend
Ellie.
to the channel. Make sure to go hit the like and subscribe to her channel as well. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh yes. The other thing that I love to do now is I think Ange is pretty transparent, like in his post-match and pre-match pressers and like any interviews that he does. And he mentioned, after this game, the rotation, just because he wanted to see what these players were going to do, right, in these certain situations, in these certain matches. I have a feeling he's going to do that with Scarlett because he's also spoken highly of him before the United match on how he's been progressing in preseason. And I have a feeling he doesn't want to loan him out from what I can tell, which leads me to believe that he's going to get some chances this season. The only way I can see Scarlett not getting that many chances this season and where I think he should probably go out on loan is if we get a player like Orban to come in or another backup striker who I know Ange is going to consistently play and rotate with Richarlison. Until that is being proven, I'm going to give Scarlett a chance. That's where I'm at right now.
I mean, it's a cup game. I could definitely see it. My fear, you play anybody out of position here, you play anybody who's not in their P's and Q's, you better pray. You better hope that Fulham doesn't start the two-headed monster that they've acquired from Wolverhampton. Lest we forget, they've got Raul Jimenez, a Mexican superstar, and number 11, a Adama Traore. If he starts
not 37
versus us,
anymore.
Not 37. Still 37 in our hearts. The new 37 is Van de Veen, but Adama Traore could do some damage versus us. You better be careful going into that Craven Cottage Carabao Cup game playing Dane Scarlett. I don't know. It's a good shout. I'm interested. I mean, he's grown up a lot. If you look at him, he's matured a lot physically. Like in his face, he looks like an older man now, not just a young kid. You know, when you see him, you kind of see his face look smooth, like a young baby face. And now he's got a little bit more of. He's been in the dust and the winds, and his face is a little more weathered. So, you know, if he can play like a big boy, it remains to be seen. But Postecoglou did mention there's a reason why we ain't loaned him out yet. Yes, we are trying to move Parrott along, but there's a reason we ain't loaned Scarlett out. And he wants to see what he could bring. So I'm all for it. It's a cup game, so maybe for a half at least you can see what he could do. He did score a great half turn. What was it, a volley, quarter volley, something like that? I know he had the half turn, finished it like a strong man. A lot of people sometimes will slice that, as you could see if you watched Chelsea. If you watched the Chelsea match, I thought I saw Mudryk do that a few times. But big up
Mudryk
Bader.
Is awful, dude.
Was a little
I just want
banter
to say that real quick.
They gave him the 10.
I just want to remind everyone that they paid over $100 million for that guy. Did you see his? Oh, you just talked about it, right? His volley. Or his attempted volley that went the opposite way of the goal. Dude, that guy is bad. Like, I don't know if it's confident. Like, I had never seen him play. I can't lie. Like, I've never seen him play before he joined Chelsea. But, like, I would love to know what Chelsea fans think of him at this moment because, like, he's getting opportunities. He got opportunities last season, right? When he came in January for the second half of the season. He was getting chances. Awful. So far, he's been getting chances. Dude, the guy is awful.
He's awful.
Like bad.
He's
$100 million.
He's an athlete. I think they bought the athlete without thinking of like the technical ability. And who knows? He may come along. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to help Ukraine. I don't know. I really don't know. But big up Justin. We got some rival fans in the house. Says Arsenal fans and Spurs fans all laughing at Chelsea. There is one thing I do like about Chelsea, and it is our previous star boy, Mr. Noni Madueke. They gave him the number 11. He looks good. They didn't start him today, and maybe that's why they lost. They're losers. Shout out Pochettino. Quez Ali says, Spursy performance on Saturday. Love to see it. Quote, we never stop is the new Spursy. I love to see it. Nick Brown saying big up Jacob.
Big up.
Let's see who else checked in. I saw a couple more new names in the chat. I'm super behind in the chat. Bobby K's in the house. Big up Bobby K. 3 Spurs boys. There's Ben Kaufman's link if anyone wants to go subscribe to the coffee company. Raul Jimenez in the mud.
Let's get him to 500, y'all. Go subscribe to the coffee company, please.
Yeah, how far away is he? 41
he's
away?
41. Let's get him there. There's 125 people in here. If a quarter of you, or like, well, yeah, a quarter of you go over and sub, he can get to 500 today. So if you're feeling the generosity in your heart, go ahead and head over there. Great channel, great guy, really good vibes. Please.
Yeah. Big up to Son of a Gun as well. I believe Son of a Gun is like a long-standing Legacy fan. If I'm not mistaken, we had a good chat the other day with Son of a Gun. We were talking because I was obviously publicly mourning the loss of Harry Kane, and we got fans who've seen legends like Hoddle and Sheringham leave, and they can all help the younger fans like us cope with the loss of a club legend. It's our first loss of a club legend, so a Son of a Gun was there, I believe, helping me get through that. So big up Son of a Gun. Cube says Scarlett didn't do so great beyond his first game or so at Portsmouth. I think he had a good month for a good first couple months, but then they played him in a different position and they didn't get anything out of him. So it's interesting to see. But you do make a valid point. Zakalwe is in the house. Big up Zakalwe. I believe you're all the way in Australia. Or wait, did you say you used to be in Australia and you moved to Texas? I don't remember. It's a shame the Fulham game wasn't a home tie. I'd be more inclined to start one of the youngsters up front. I don't know that being home or away would necessarily matter in the sense of like throwing them. You're literally throwing them into the deep end. So whether it's 8 feet or 12 feet deep is really doesn't matter. You're throwing them in there to learn and see if they can swim in the first place. That's my take. Do you feel any differently about that, Michael?
Can you repeat it real quick?
That Zakalwe says it's a shame that the Fulham Cup game is at Craven Cottage.
It's literally right in front of my face.
Yeah. No, it's right there.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think that's something to take into consideration. But the one, and I know people, including myself, have PTSD in terms of like playing youngsters in cup games. Just like apparently the manager, just doesn't really look like they care about it. They're more focused on the league. But like back to my point also, as long as they fit in the system, it works. And I think it's been proven so far in 2 games. You know what I mean? Like, as long as they buy into the system and they do what they're supposed to do, the results and the goals will come. So that's why I'm more inclined, rather than like if Conte was here or like Mourinho, then obviously, yeah, let's play our strongest 11. Let's try to do it. But we're going to see rotation, man. And both, I think, this next game and then Fulham included too. So I think whether you like it or not, you're going to see a youngster or 2 against Fulham, in my opinion. But it remains to be seen, right? We'll see.
Absolutely remains to be seen. Got another couple starred questions that I will bring up before we give out our Man of the Match and BDE awards. Chris Peters says, did you see Onana's interview?
Yeah, where he said that they deserve to win. Yeah, that was funny. That was comedy.
That was absolutely fine.
I think that guy has mad PTSD when it comes to Spurs.
We live in his head rent-free.
Mad PTSD, and I don't blame him, man. I mean, giving up 3 goals in 1 half to Lucas Moura and losing the Champions League semifinal at home in front of all of your fans, yeah, I'd probably have that guy living rent-free in my head too.
I'm gonna quote one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. You're scared to death. You're scared to look. You're shook. That's just what it is. He's absolutely shook. Tottenham lives in his head rent free. So I'm not surprised that he went wah wah, because his captain's going wah wah. So when the captain's going wah, everyone in the locker room goes wah, and then they all have that little shitty face on where they're like, nee. And guess what? Sucks to suck. People like to say, I was on the football terrace yesterday and someone told me that it could have been lucky, our 2 chances. And I said, no. Luck doesn't come into play when you mix hard work with execution. And when you're in the right position, it could be a Ben Davies just getting a little mwah on the ball that caused Martinez to get a little mwah on the ball. That's not luck because they messed up. That's pouncing on the right opportunity at the right time, in my opinion. So long may he cry, Mr. Onana. Do not care. Onana. And then Chris Peters also says here, After the next 4 to 5 games, will we be ready for arse? You're muted.
Sorry.
No.
I would confidently say yes. For
Confidently.
sure. 4 to 5 more games of this, and the guys are going to adapt for 4 to 5 more games? Yeah. Yeah. I think so. What about you?
I'm ready for them right fucking now.
I mean, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. But let's also remember, I mean, I hate to, I'm not going to do it. I'm not complimenting them right now. We'll be ready for them after 4 to 5 games. That's all I'll say. We'll be ready
for that ass right now, ugly ass motherfuckers. I'm ready for them now. You're just banging the chest saying we got better midfield than them. So let's see it. That's what I think.
Yep.
It's player of the match now. I don't know what that means, John Fernandez, but big up yourself right now in the face. And yes, it was Mob Deep lyrics. Big up Shearman for
Shearman's on it, man. He's always on the inside jokes, and he's always catching the vibe.
There's nothing I can throw that C. Shearman don't pick up. And also want to bring some attention to this. Believe this is directed at us, Michael. Luka Doncic with it is the truth. Dirk Nowitzki is the GOAT. Lakers.
Recognize.
All I gotta say is
one,
Anthony Davis.
Recognize the GOAT, and the other, baby GOAT. That's all I'll say. 2024 NBA champs. Honestly, I'll even throw in the fucking new midseason tournament. We're winning that shit too. Dallas Mavericks, baby. 2024 NBA champs. Luka and Kyrie
get it tatted.
are taking us to the promised land.
Get it tatted.
Dude, if they win, I might have to, honestly. I know I said my first tattoo is going to be when Tottenham win a trophy, which I'm still, waiting for. But, dude, I'd be very tempted if the Mavs won me another championship. They're the only team
it was not luck. Scott, you're wrong. None of our goals were luck, and if you want to call it luck, that's fine. You could be on that side of the fence, Scott. You're more than welcome to be there. But guess what? It was not luck. Pape Matar ran and got into a great position for that first goal. He read the flow of gameplay perfectly like a young maestro. He read it like when Einstein opened his first novel, his first book with no photos. Albert Einstein said, "I got this," and that's what Ay Papi Chulo Matar said. He's got this. So the first one, definitely not luck. And then the second one, you distracted me here with this freaking NBA.
Sorry,
comment.
I'm just staring. I'm staring him in the eye. Who was it that said the Lakers? I forgot you since it's not up there anymore. Who said Lakers over Mavs? Oh, Justin. I'm looking Justin in the eye right now. Sweep in 2011. That's all I'll say.
Well,
didn't even win one. JJ Barea took out Andrew Bynum single-handedly in one game too. He got ejected. But on to Spurs. Sorry, man.
I don't even remember what I was saying, but can't distract me with no NBA comments.
But you know what you will, what you will talk about right now is our fullbacks, baby. Because we haven't talked about. Well, we talked a little bit about Porro. We alluded to how well he played, and that he impressed us a little bit more than what we were expecting defensively, but. Real quick, man, before we get into man of the match and BDE, I just want to give a shout out. Hey, later, Goguma. Thank you for joining us.
So good to see you again.
For the stickers. Appreciate you.
Big up for the stickers.
Oh, I want to dance with Udogie.
Hey.
I want to feel the heat with Udogie. But in all seriousness, Udogie, man. Another really good performance, in my opinion. I know he picked up a yellow card, I think, which affected his SofaScore rating. But just in general, man, our fullbacks, again, I'm more impressed each day. Porro, actually both of them, but I will say Porro impressed me more with his defensive ability and like his adaptation against United, just because that was the big question mark. We know what he can do offensively. We know what he can do moving forward. Oh, so verily a half inch away from hitting an absolute banger in the first half.
Sometimes half inch all you need too.
But what I will say also is Udogie is just impressing me week in and week out with his defensive qualities and the improvements in his defensive game, right? That was the big question mark coming in. We knew, kind of similar to Porro, except he just hadn't proved it yet, like at Spurs. We knew what we were going to get offensively and creatively, if you will, just because of how much of a wingback he was and the system that he played in at Udinese. But what he's been able to do, like track back or just his overall awareness and positioning, I'm getting more impressed each week, and I know Ange and the defensive coaches are working constantly with him on it, week in, week out. They have to be, right, because that's his biggest opportunity. I'm getting more and more impressed. Hey, Jacob can sing too, actually.
Oh,
Fun
hell
fact,
no.
y'all didn't know. Oh yeah, he's serenaded to me a few times. There's
a difference between can sing and will well. Sing.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, I've just been impressed every single week that I'm seeing Udogie out there with his defensive game, man. Like I just think that we're only seeing a glimpse of the final product, right? Just because he's so young, he's still developing, and under this system, he is going to thrive, and he already has, right? He already had. There you go. Yeah, Jacob's a big Bulls fan, and then he's also an honorary Mavs fan too, just the Dallas connection. But
gotta hold my.
I know he's down. I know he's a big Bulls fan, so yeah. I also
they made me fall in love with the game
right here, but you guys, it's like right here. You guys can't see it. Yeah, like right. Ooh, trying to fit my hand in here. There you go.
Sparked a little bit of a debate in the chat between Lakers, Mavs. Everyone's getting upset. You know what? It's okay when the Lake Show get upset because your tears.
You can hold that bubble. You can hold that Mickey Mouse. Bubble
hold
trophy.
that Mickey Mouse trophy. Anthony Davis, hold that. That's all.
In all seriousness, I know Jacob knows I'm a huge LeBron fan. I think he's the greatest of all time. But if we're gonna get into actual team debates, Mavs over everyone, man. I'll fight for my Mavs.
We need to hold this basketball debate somewhere. It's been waiting to burst, this basketball debate. But big up everybody for hanging tough with us who don't know what the hell we're talking about when it comes to NBA. But speaking of Udogie, Zakawa says he's a beast. He's 6'1", 6'2", and he's still growing. Another 3 to 4 years of growing. He's going to be bigger by the time he's all done. Ed Sweeting says Udogie is doing so well from always playing wingback to adjust to a new role. It's actually not a new role. This was originally his primary position was a left back, and then he transitioned to a left wing back. So he went back to it. So to be able to come back to it, and it's like riding a bicycle. What a beast. He says he's strong, quick, good on the ball, gets really tight to attacking players, and he's got that girth. He plays with that girth, and that's what I love to see personally. Everyone agrees Udogie is a beast. Let's see. Big up Russ Evo in the house as well. He's got the flip-flops on. Evening, afternoon, Jacob Top Show.
Got the dogs out. Dogs are barking. Dogs are barking just like our midfield, just like our 11.
Let them puppies breathe. Udogie was out of position in the first half and saved by Van de Ven defensively several times. But that's what we saw in the first half was Manchester United was willing to bring that to us, and that's what you need is accountability and reliability behind you and on the sides of you, and that's what Udogie's got to find with Van de Ven, with Son in front of him, and with if it's Bissouma that's playing on his side. So these are things that are going to get worked out. I'm not too concerned about that part personally.
I'm just loving the NBA discourse in the chat right now because everyone's debating on their favorite teams. Everyone's shouting out their favorite team. Yeah, if y'all want, I know this is a Spurs channel, but we are United Spurs of America. So if you want to go ahead and give a shout out to your NBA
let's stop talking about the damn NBA.
Why? Because the Bulls suck.
Yeah, and Lonzo Ball apparently. Because
I was gonna say because the Bulls are paying millions of dollars for Lonzo Ball to get his knee checked out week in and week out.
Bro's played like 4 games in a Bulls shirt. Come on. Anyway, this guy's got Knicks. Shout out Jalen Brunson.
Shout out Jalen Brunson. Only Nick
talking about the Raptors. The only reason Raptors won was because Kawhi Leonard carried you on his muscly back without a smile.
Nothing but respect for the Raptors that finals. I was so glad when they beat the Warriors, man. If you all remember, I think everyone was just so tired of the Warriors winning, especially after they kept beating LeBron. And shout out the Raptors, man. Shout out Kawhi for ending that run because,
y'all really going at it right now in the chat about this damn NBA. And I was trying to get
like Spurs no trophies. Hey, FIBA, what are you talking about? Y'all are European, right? That's the trophies that y'all should be caring about, right? He's won the FIBA World Cup.
Oh
Real Madrid, Allah. Only basketball though.
See, Peter, this is what I'm trying to avoid, and I don't know about Australia either. I don't know how my Australian fans feel about NBA, if they're NBA fans or not. But any Australia listeners, shout out Giannis Antetokounmpo, the greatest Greek basketball player
can bring you back in if we start talking cricket, right? But I know nothing about cricket, so you guys have me there.
There's this. I'm not even going to dive into that. Antonio Varas says, "Good day, Jacob. Joined late. Hope you're safe there with the storm coming through. Maybe you are a little east. Bro, I'm in the middle of the desert. That storm ain't. All it's going to do is cool off the desert, and that's actually going to be nice. So
that's over there in Cali. But yeah, in all seriousness, hope all of our friends over there in California, Nevada,
big up Antonio,
just southern West Coast. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe. And if you're also in Mexico and Baja California, like Tijuana or Cabo. I know Cabo's getting hit really bad right now. So anyone from Mexico.
Shout out Lisa.
Peace and love. Seriously.
Hope y'all good. Safe. Holler at us. We always here. Anything we can do, promote anything. If you need help with anything, let us know. But big up Antonios Vorrias for this, reminding us. But we're all good and appreciate the sympathy as well. Big up JC says Ange is the father of the weekend. Absolutely. That's from a rival fan. This is from a Chelsea fan. So thank you for that. Ellie, gonna answer this because it's Ellie. Says, what's the biggest sport in the U.S.? Basketball, NFL, or baseball? I think it's NFL.
Not a debate. Yeah, it's not a debate. It's NFL.
NFL.
There's
100%.
So many people here that think NFL is the greatest sport on earth, and they won't watch. Like, there are so many people who are getting triggered recently because of the rise of soccer, just because of Messi coming to Miami. And honestly, it's funny as shit to watch because so many bigoted American football fans that think that soccer is boring and like NFL is the only good sport in the world. I am thoroughly enjoying that population getting upset with soccer rising because obviously we're big soccer guys.
Messi madness is legitimate. Yeah. He's shuts down the city legitimate. Anywhere he goes. Messi has been shutting down the city, which shout out Miami. They did win the League's Cup last night. If you have missed it, they're undefeated since signing Messi. He cannot stop scoring since they signed Messi. He's unstoppable. Absolutely.
They are still last in the league, though. So I think the bigger challenge for him will be to get them to the playoffs because they were very bad before he got there. And
we got NFL chat checking in. NFL chat checking in too. We're gonna lose all the Brits with NFL and NBA talk. Maybe we should do a secondary channel. Turn a channel and we'll do all sports. All sports.
There you go.
We got a lot of people out here showing love for the Eagles.
Jazz, come on now.
That's tough.
No.
That's
Eagles
tough.
Fans, this is not a safe space, my friends.
The only Eagles I love are the free ones.
The Cowboy space. Yeah. The only Eagles I respect are the bald Eagles. But no, we're not Philly fans over here.
I have heard of Kristaps Porzingis. He's got ankles made of tissue paper, but he was fantastic when he was with the Knicks. Absolutely fantastic.
After he tore his ACL, it was over.
Dirk Regen was what I thought, but anyway.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Man of the match in BDE.
Did we talk about Pedro Porro?
We talked about him a little bit earlier. You want to keep talking about him? I can talk about him for a little bit more, man. I think he was also one of the guys that I had texted you about yesterday after the match where I was just super impressed. I talked a little bit about how he had to grow into the game. He obviously gave up the one really big chance where he tried to kind of clear the ball and we were just kind of getting overrun with their press. And I think it was before the Bruno header, if I'm not mistaken, or the Rashford chance. I can't remember. Outside of the first half where he kind of had to grow into the game the first 30 minutes or so, after that, I actually thought he was fantastic. Not only going forward and progressive wise. Come at me, bro. I will, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Big up Jazz Fusion.
Full transparency, man. I hate the Eagles. Like I really do. Neil, come on.
I mean, the reason why I have a big disdain for the Eagles fan base, Philadelphia specifically, was when Michael Irvin broke his back and shattered his vertebrae, they cheered it. And they applauded the fact that he was injured. And I thought that was very disgusting. Because beyond the sport, we're all humans.
Yeah.
And that man has a family, and they all saw him break his back that day. So I don't like Eagles for that, personally. I did admire them back in the... I was a Donovan McNabb fan. He was quite the quarterback. But outside of that, fuck him. 49ers for Glenn Meadows. Neil Shafton says Dallas Stars are ass. Justin says if y'all need a rival fan on your show, let me know. Do you mean for Spurs? You want to come on as an Arsenal perspective? That's always welcome as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you on for the North London Derby preview or something.
Yeah, come on. Always welcome. Maybe we'll get a couple on, so that way it's not just him by himself, and we can get a couple Arsenal folks on.
Yeah, no, I agree, Marshall. He wasn't the greatest in the first half, but what I will say, like I said, I thought he grew into the game rather well after the first 30 minutes or so. After that, I thought he played very well. I thought he played very... And again, remember, he's still developing. He's still a super young player, and he's only going to get better under Big Ange. And the other thing that I'll also go back to that I said earlier, I actually don't expect him to play in the next game, to be honest. I think we're going to see rotation again, which is good, right? We want to see a variety of guys. We want to see all of our guys get some time, get development, especially if they're playing well. But I actually think Emerson's probably going to come back into the 11. We're just going to see a constant rotation between those two, which is good, right? It's good for competition. It's good to make both of the players better. I think we'll see Emerson next game, and then hopefully against Fulham we'll see Porro again. But it remains to be seen.
Big up Mari. Giants
fan.
Mari,
he's a Giants fan. I didn't know that about you, man.
That's fair. I
think we can all agree that.
NFC East. We can have a friendly rivalry there. That's fun. Eagles, Commanders, and Giants, Dallas Cowboys.
Brimo says Bears, Walter Payton, GOAT. Yeah, sure, man.
R.I.P.
He's right behind Emmitt Smith as the GOAT for sure.
R.I.P. Walter Payton.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
One of the goats for sure.
Everyone, if you have your man of the match in the chat, hit it now. I will start, and we will talk about ours. C. Shearman has tapped in with theirs, so I've starred C. Shearman's. But let us know who gets your man of the match and your BDE. If you're new, BDE, who brought that big dig energy to the match? Who brought that thing, threw it around all match, and said, you cannot stop me? It's a vibe. They don't necessarily even have to have a good day. They could have just had one good moment that you think exudes all that. So please do hit us with your man of the match and BDE. But Michael, you want to go ahead and kick us off this? I think I started it last week, so you can start it this time.
All right. So I can't lie. I was actually thinking about this during the plane ride home today. I didn't really give a man. I know after the Brentford match, right away I got on Twitter and I was like, Madison, man of the match, like no debate in my opinion, like just super impressive, 2 assists on his debut, really good midfield play overall from the trio in a hostile environment. I had to think about both my man of the match and BDE. I actually had to think about it for a full day, my friend, because there was just so many. There was a few candidates, right? You have Bissouma, who obviously won man of the match officially by the Premier League. You have Sarr, who scored his first career goal and who just played absolutely fantastic. You can also throw in Vicario as well. So like there's a few guys, right, who I think are deserving of the man of the match award, who if the other players were off on their game yesterday, they would have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have narrowed it down. And I'm not even going to give it to 2 people. Like, I'm just giving it to 1 and 1. I know we've done that in the past a few times where we're like, nah, I'm going to give BDE to this guy and this guy. I'm going to stick to 1 and 1. Man of the match. I'm a motherfucking Sarr boy. You just have to. You have to, man. First goal in a Spurs shirt in front of the 60,000 plus fans at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There's not many other big games, or not much bigger games, right, that you could have done it on that occasion. He rose to the occasion. He was an absolute force in the mid. Like, just goal aside, like, let's just not even put the goal in the contention of why he should be man of the match. He put Mount in his pocket along with Bissouma, nowhere to be seen. Casemiro was constantly frustrated. You saw how frustrated Bruno Fernandes was getting as well. Mm-hmm. And then for a few times, he was also dusting Varane as well when he was getting into the box.
Motherfucker.
The relentlessness, excuse me, the passion that he shows, the energy that he brings, the non-stop work rate that him and Bissouma have are intangibles that you can't buy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's born. You born with that.
That's belief, that's effort, and that's passion. Our midfield right now just has all 3 of those and are exuding it along with Madison. Pape Matar Sarr is my man of the match. Absolute class performance, hands down, best performance in a Spurs shirt. I don't know much more else I can say about the man, but he is here and he is here to stay. And I am even going to go on the record to say that he is not going to be automatically droppable when Bentancur gets back to 100%, especially if he keeps up the way that if he keeps this up, y'all, and he just gets better and better with each week, which I expect him to, right? We all expect him to. How can you drop him? You know what I mean? And it's going to be a very interesting debate, and it's going to be a very serious debate that not only we are all going to have, but obviously Ange Postecoglou is going to have, because he's going to have to, keep a constant rotation, and we're going to see all of them eventually. But I'm going to go on record and say he is by no means going to be automatically droppable when Bentancur gets back to 100%. And I fully expect him to just grab this opportunity by the scruff of the neck and just run with it. That's my man of the match. BDE was a debate for me between Bissouma and Vicario. Bissouma, again, other than Sarr, are the best player on the pitch by a mile and a half. I talked about how him and Madison, it just seemed like they were running through the United midfield at ease at certain points, especially in that second half. And they just did whatever they wanted to do, especially in that second half as well. But I can't, unfortunately, give it to him because Vicario saved 2 goals on his own. Vicario had the best performance so far. I know it's only been a short stint, right? He's only had a few preseason appearances and then 2 games thus far. Best performance in a Spurs shirt and the best goalkeeping performance in a Spurs shirt, I would say, in the last 3 years. And that's saying a lot, right? Because I know Hugo had dropped off a little bit in his last year and a half, I would say, before obviously now he's just not in the picture. Even on Hugo's best days, I don't know if you could say he has had as better of a performance as we saw in that big game environment before 2020, I would say, like Hugo specifically. And that's saying a lot for Vicario. Venom, was an absolute beast.
I don't get that nickname.
Silenced the haters. It was just his nickname, bro. It was just the nickname.
It's always been his nickname?
Yeah, it's always been his nickname. I don't know why. I need to read more into that. And if you guys know in the chat,
let us know.
Enlighten us.
Why does he have that nickname? Did he just like the movie Venom and he's like Tom Hardy? Woohoo! I don't know.
Just going back to what everyone was saying, and I mean, let's be honest. We were a little bit, we were criticizing him a little bit too, just because it was more so of his distribution, right, and just like how he was doing with the ball at his feet. But to save 2 goals on his own, especially that the Bruno Fernandes curler, which I thought was a really good chance for them and a really good shot. In all fairness, excellent parry out for a goal kick. Again, the Varane header. There was a few other another header as well. I think it was Rashford that he saved. Incredible performance, especially just with all the scrutiny that he was getting last week, all the uncertainty by a lot of the fan base where they weren't really sure if this was the way to move forward. They were talking a lot about David Raya. Maybe we should have got him instead. To be able to go out there and give a performance like that against a team like United, just kind of like along the same lines as Sarr, right? Absolute beast. My BDE of the match. My goalkeeper, man. Shout out Vicario. What about you, my friend?
Shout him out. Well, before I give
you want to see what's up with the chat?
Yeah, let's run through the chats. Got a bunch of them starred here. Appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah.
Kaylee Davis, real quick, member of the YouTube chat, says, next 3 matches our way. Should we care? I care every single time, Kaylee. I hope you do too. I care so much. It's oozing out of my boots.
I think she means like, should we worry maybe? Should we be worried, you know?
Maybe.
Honestly, if we were under Conte,
Ange is driving.
Yes.
Ange is driving.
My guy's got the wheel right now, and he's not stopping for anyone. He's driving the freight train.
Are you at all concerned when your father's driving the car? No, you know he's got this.
I'm falling asleep in the back. I'm taking a nap.
Exactly. You comfy as hell.
I'm taking a nap.
No worries. Daddy's driving. Let Big Ange cook.
Out.
Looking at you, Scott. Let Big Ange cook. But let's run through the chat's Man of the Match and BDE awards. C. Sherman's got it. Man of the Match, Sarr. BDE, Venom. Son of a Gun, Man of the Match, Bissouma. I don't get it, man. Vin Kaufman, Sarr Toure. I love that one. Christopher Laplante. Papa Mata Sarr is my Man of the Match. Neil Shafton's picks Bissouma. Peter Ford says Bissouma. Jazz Fusion, Sarski is too much.
Yep.
Marshall says BDE easily Bissouma. David Calvino says Man of the Match, Joe Montana. Man of the Match, Papa does preach.
Yep, he does.
Yes, he does. He does preach indeed. Quez Ali says Man of the Match, Sarr. BDE, busy boy. Papa Sarr was Man of the Match for Marshall. Scott M's got Man of the Match, Bruno or Anthony for missing the sitters. Interesting choice. Interesting choice indeed, Scott. BDE was Sunny, says J. Co.
Okay.
West Coast Gacarel. Vicario for shutting down the chat. Absolutely. He shut shit down at the mall. CQ BDE was Sarr. Krista T. Big up Krista says Bissouma, Man of the Match. Vicario is BDE. Good calls out there. Very good choices. West Coast Gacarel, BDE, Vicario, and Man of the Match is Papa Matasar. BDE, Bissouma for Christopher Laplante. Antonios Vorias. Bissouma, man of the match, BDE. I love the way you call me Big Papa. Hey, throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. Rich, Sarr, man of the match, Vicario, BDE. Mile High Hotspur Leo says, man of the match, Bissouma, BDE, Sarr. Justin says BDE, Vicario. Scott M. BDE is the Spurs fans. We've done nothing, but we're able to act like we are now 10 times in a row Champions League.
Scott cracks me up, man.
I love Scott. I love Scott. He's supported this channel since the infant stages.
I'll always love Scott.
Always love Scott. His takes are not one in a kind, but it's difficult because not a lot of people share these opinions that he has. But I love him for always sharing his opinions nonetheless.
He's a man that's very passionate about the club, though, y'all. Like, don't get that confused with passion and care. Scott's just as much of a Spurs fan as all of us, man. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. So don't go too hard on him in the chat, okay?
Yeah, and hello, I'm the GOAT. Hello to everybody new in the house. Anybody new in the house, kindly ask you to partake in that poll. Hit a like, hit a subscribe if you don't mind, but you don't have to. I really don't care. I just say do something. Hit a like, hit a dislike. At least let us know where you stand. You love us or you hate us. And you know what? Whichever one it is, I got immaculate vibes for all of you. But I agree. Scott M is a big friend of the channel, and even though I don't agree with majority of what he says, he loves Spurs. He bleeds Tottenham, and he just goes about it a different way than anybody else does. So, big up him. But for my choices for BDE man of the match, I'm giving my man of the match. I'm gonna stay consistent. Vicario Sicario, my man.
Okay.
The guy with the hands, the guy with the plans.
He saved us 2 points, if you will. Like, if those 2 goals go in, we're looking at a 2-2 draw instead of a 2-0 victory. So
6 saves, 4 from inside the box, quick reaction. 2 were absolutely phenomenal. This guy, he's silencing a lot of haters. You know, he had 4 saves last week, 6 saves this week. He's been tested.
Yep.
And what is happening when he's being tested? He's answering all the questions that people are asking. Now, I would like to see him be a little more calm with it at the feet. You know, I would like to see that. But at the same time, just very proud of the young man. Very proud of the young man. Thought he absolutely kept us in that match. One of the phenomenal saves happened when it was 0-0. So if that game gets turned into a 1-0, that's a different. It's different completely. So without him and that phenomenal save, I don't think that that game turns out the way that we necessarily saw it play out. So he kept us in that, and then when we were up, he also kept us up. So those are 2 crucial factors. Saves, in my opinion, can be as crucial as a goal getting scored for your team as well. So got to give it to the man. His hands were on fire. It didn't matter if you were offside. He didn't care. He ain't waiting to see what the refs say, like we've seen in the past. Hint, hint, Hugo. You know, I hated it when Hugo would just stand there. In the last 3 years, he was just there were opportunities in which just throw your body out there, and he would just stand there and watch it, and then look at the back line respectfully. Of course, you should, but then it's just, for me, I like to see this man pouncing around that box like a madman. He's crazy. You don't know what he's gonna do, and I love that. I love a madman behind, between the sticks, because that's what I was. And a goalkeeper in the goalkeepers union always gonna have a goalkeeper's back. So got to keep it 100% on my man Vicario. Sicario gets my man of the match. Now, for the sake of diversity, here on the channel, you did pick Sarr for your man of the match, and your BDE was Vicario, right? So I'm gonna go with my BDE. I just got to shout out Bissouma again. I thought that he was absolutely phenomenal. I thought that he slung that thing from this box to that box.
Sarr not getting any love. Sarr not getting any love from Jacob.
Sarr gets a lot of love, dude. This is the problem now. Last year we couldn't even do this because we couldn't think of two players to give the awards to.
I would rather have too many options, right, than not enough. This is a good problem to have.
Exactly. When you're looking at the squad and you're like, damn, there's about 4 or 5 names I could pull from here. Because Romero had a fantastic fucking game, and we haven't even talked about him hardly. Van de Veen, But for the most part, there was man of the match performances all over the place except for the front 3. to be quite honest. So this is a very good problem to have. Last year we didn't do these because there wasn't even, it was just Harry Kane's man of the match, no BDE because no one had that. We were all walking around with that small thing. It wasn't even TikToking, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't waving in the wind, so to speak. Big up Marshall. Don't forget to hit the free beers. That is hitting that like, hitting that subscribe. It's absolutely free to do, so it costs you nothing. It's basically you're walking into the party or you're walking out and you're dropping off free beer to the party. Make the party a little bit more lively. So please do hit that like or hit the fucking dislike. If you don't want to hit the like, hit the dislike. Hit something.
Let us know.
Let us know. We already, I mean, there's about 20 of y'all that vote but don't like. Why don't you just fucking dislike? And you know, that's what I'm saying. Don't sit on the fence on where you sit with this channel. So, but yeah, as much as I want to include Sarr, I'm just going to diversify it. I'm giving my BDE to Bissouma because I thought, you know, this is the second week in a row that this man has completely made the midfield his lover, his workplace fling, if you will. And you know what? I'm all about it. The only thing I worry about is about halfway through the match, he starts sagging his pants a little bit. And that's not good for mobility, personally. Like, I understand the style of it, but like, just pull them up a little bit more, and I think your hips, you can open your hips a little bit more. I always find if my pants were sagging, I couldn't really open my hips. And if that's the only critique I got for you, is to maybe just, you know, make sure your pants don't sag halfway through the match, then you're doing a damn good job. And he absolutely bossed it, so got to give him at least put him in the conversation, you know. Big up, Justin. Yeah, at U Spurs of A, that's the Twitter. I need to change that logo to the X instead of the Twitter bird, but you can DM us on there on Twitter or any of the socials. Yeah,
it's all the same.
It's all the same. You know what the
Twitter,
bird stands
X.
for. Yeah.
I'd rather let's just keep calling it Twitter. Let's just keep calling it Twitter.
Quez Ali says Lloris would pose like Zoolander half the match. Bro, just move. Just throw your body in the direction you think it's going. Instead, he's just watching. Anyway, shout out Hugo. TJ Warren is in the house. There's a rival fan as well. Rival American. Big up TJ.
Merchant.
He calls me the waffle. It's actually he misspelled the syrup merchant because I bring the syrup for all the waffle that he be making. So big up there, TJ Warren. It's all in the hips. Ain't that the truth, Quez Ali? Fashion tips. No, I mean, honestly, I'm not okay. Jacob sound like your mom. Pull your pants up, son. No, it's just, you know, me personally, in any athletic setting I've ever been in, any competitive match I've ever played, sagging pants was like not good, you know, if your pants were too big. So that was, you dress however you want. I ain't gonna tell anybody about fashion, but pull your damn pants up. Sound like a boomer now. Anywho, that's gonna do it here for us. United Spurs of America. Michael, you got any final parting thoughts before we sign off? I do want to say there's 168 votes in the poll, 131 likes. Y'all have been showing us a lot of love throughout this entire program, so big ups to the 131 of y'all that have hit that like. And, you know, even big ups to 168 of y'all that, you know, partake in the poll, because just because there's 30 of y'all that don't want to hit a like but you want to partake in the poll, I ain't going to say... I'm not going to forget about y'all who participated in that poll, but I am going to go ahead and end that poll right now. With 168 votes, 46% says happy so far with more work to do. Come on, you Spurs. And then second place, 34% says Ange is the father of everyone. And that's how I feel. Ange is the father of everyone. And you know what? Whether Papa comes to give you candies or Papa comes to give you spankings, you deserve it. And I hope you get what you're looking for, because Ange will deliver it whether you want it or not. The train is moving. You can't stop the locomotive in action. 17% says my Tottenham are finally back as well. So that's another positive choice there. And then also 3% says we got lucky. The result was a fluke. And I'm assuming that was Scott, but big up Scott M every single time. Always try and have an answer for Scott, one that I think Scott would like, and I think Scott voted for that. He can correct me if I'm wrong. Neil Shafton with a late super chat into the channel. Big up. Thank you so much for the donation here to the channel. Says here's some money for some Corona or Pacifico or Modelo and some chicharron.
Ooh, chicharrones.
Give me some chicharron. What are you having for dinner, Michael? Now I'm getting hungry.
I have no idea, honestly. I need to figure it out with Annette, and then go from there.
Hey, big up Annette. I just want to say big up Annette and all the wives that be holding us madmen down when we talk about Spurs.
What about you? What you eating for dinner?
I don't know.
What's like the most Australian dish you can make? Like, what's the most popular dish in Australia?
I'm not going to say shrimp on the Barbie because they don't even call them shrimp. They call them prawns. Shout out Paul with Hotspur Hippie. They call them prawns. So I have no idea. Paella? Is that something they do out there in Australia? Rich, don't say that. Don't even pull the comment up, Michael. Do not pull that comment up.
Oh, God.
Do not. Okay? I am a lover of kangaroos. I've loved them since I was a child. I know what y'all do out there to these kangaroos. All right?
Hey, so from what I'm seeing, veggies, fairy bread, Tim Tams, whatever those are. They like meat pies. I know a lot of people in England like meat pies.
Better not be kangaroo meat. I'm going to get fucking upset.
I'm seeing chicken parma, so chicken parmesan.
How could you want to eat this beautiful creature? How could you want to eat this? You look at a kangaroo and you say, I want to eat that? How could you ever?
A Vegemite, apparently. Whatever those are.
Don't worry, y'all. Still got Conte in the pouch. He's tucked in. He's there.
Yep, Neil says Vegemite. Beer. Fair play. I think
Sherman with the super chat as well. Big up C. Sherman with the late super chat. We're getting some late super chats in here. Big up to y'all. Going above and beyond, hitting a like and subscribe, doing the unfree thing, which I encourage you to do, but also, you know, free thing's also easier and it's free. And I like me some free. Lingua taco for C. Sherman. Big up for the $2 dono. That does. I was actually thinking that I might have tacos tonight. That's
there you go.
Sunday night tacos sound pretty good.
Sounds good to me.
Why would you say this? Why are y'all talking about dingo? Those are dogs, aren't they? Those are wild dogs.
Yeah, wild dogs.
Go vegan? No, never.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Stuff. Ben Kaufman. There you go. Let's just go to Outback Steakhouse. There you go.
Y'all don't have Awesome Blossom in Australia? There's no Awesome Blossom in Australia. Paul Hotspur Hippie's in the house. I'm not gonna pull that comment up. No, Hotspur Hippie. I'm not gonna pull that comment up. But do y'all have the Awesome Blossom?
The bloomin' onion's pretty good at Outback.
Oh, is it bloomin' onion? Is that what they call it? And Chili's called it the Awesome Blossom?
It's like a fried onion cut.
Onion, yeah.
And it looks like a flower.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. I'm not a big onion guy, like raw onion, but if you give me like onion rings, I'll eat onion rings and stuff. So like,
I'm stressing.
I like it.
I'm stressing a little bit. There's too many of y'all in the chat right now.
Hating on the kangaroos.
Talking about eating kangaroos, y'all. So come on.
Jacob, any final thoughts before we part?
I had a good one, but all I can think about right now is the poor fucking kangaroos that are getting slaughtered for y'all to eat. It's not right. And you should bring them to El Paso. They will thrive here in this environment.
Yeah, they actually would.
Let them live here. That really hurts, y'all.
I'm sure they'd fuck up some rattlesnakes and mountain lions, cougars. They could survive.
I'm still like I wasn't sweating this entire show. I didn't perspirate from the pits this entire show, and now I'm fucking dripping. Y'all talking about?
You're getting them upset, y'all. Getting them upset.
I don't know why y'all
says
gotta do this.
Birria tacos are so good, man.
I know what y'all do to the kangaroos out there. I know what y'all do, and I just don't want to know. I wish I didn't know, and I know what y'all do. Big up Uncle Rods. There you go, Hotspur Hippie. That's a little bit better. The best food is food that you share with the kangaroo. Isn't that sweet? That's a good one. There we go. Thank you, Hotspur Hippie, helping me out a little bit. I'm still mad sweating now. Now I'm gonna be accused of stinking up the entire room. But you know what?
Anything for Spurs.
The best food is the food that you share with the kangaroo, not a kangaroo.
Y'all are getting me really hungry now, honestly. Y'all are talking about birria and then menudo. Oh, God. You guys are getting me very hungry now. I need to eat something like ASAP.
Yeah, and y'all need to quit eating the fucking kangaroos, is what I think.
Quit eating, excuse me, the kangaroos.
Yeah, quit eating the kangaroos, man. Come on, help me out. At least don't tell me about it. Damn, I can't even do anything. I can't even protect them. I would have a kangaroo sanctuary if I lived in Australia, and I would protect the beautiful beasts that they are. We would all hug each other, wake up and when the sun shines, and then we go frolicking through the outback. It'll be a beautiful fucking time. You don't have to eat them. Anywho, a bit of a hypocrite, I guess, when it comes down to it, because I eat cows and I think they're cute animals as well. I eat pigs and they're actually highly intelligent beasts, and I eat those as well. So a little bit of a hypocrite, but can't blame me. I love kangaroos. Never met one except for the ones at the zoo. But anyway, we're digressing. The show's over. We're done here. I'm ending the poll. 170 votes, 135 likes. Y'all have blessed us yet again. The poll has ended. Thank you for everyone who does put their love and their time into being here. I say this, whether you're live or you're on playback, you mean a lot to me. You mean a lot to Michael, because there's anywhere you could be in the world and you chose to be right here with us on United Spurs of America. And that means something to me. I hope it means something to you. So my final thought is love a kangaroo. Don't eat it. Is that a good note to end on there, Mike?
Yeah, it's a good note. Shout out the kangaroos.
Love a kangaroo. Don't eat it, please. Next time you come across a fucking kangaroo that's cooked, just don't eat it. Think of me and my pits, my sweaty pits. Or maybe don't think of my sweaty pits if you're hungry. That's probably a good call. Good call. Mike, did you already share your final thoughts?
I did not. My final thought is shout out Big Ange. Love you. I think I speak for all Spurs fans that say just thank you for bringing our DNA back, for bringing exciting football back to the lane. Mike is ordering food on Uber Eats. Not yet. I'm thinking about it though. Maybe I'll get some Chick-fil-A.
Hey, TJ Warren.
It's Sunday. I was
Hey,
thinking
TJ Warren, look at your screen right now.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
That's for TJ Warren. Chick-fil-A. You always want Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
Dude, Chick-fil-A is so
that's the thing.
fire,
They do that on
I love
purpose.
Chick-fil-A.
They do that
I don't know
on
now.
purpose.
I was kind of thinking against some grilled nuggies from Chick-fil-A, but now I don't even know.
Hey,
My final thought. Yeah, I love you, Ange. Thank you for bringing the football back to the lane, and hopefully this is just the start of something special. You know, we have a few favorable. I can't lie, few favorable matchups coming up these next few games. Obviously, starting with Bournemouth next Saturday. The other thing that I will say is Premier League. I hate you every single time you schedule us to play the first match of the day, because now my ass has to get up and Jacob's ass has to get up at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday just to watch our beloved Tottenham Hotspur play. So that is what I will also leave my final thoughts on, is why, Premier League, why? Why are you making us wake up at the ass crack of dawn? I don't even want to think about what the Australia fans are going to be going through either. Because isn't that the morning?
The 10:30 was at 2:30 in the morning for them. The one that we just watched, Man United, was at 2:30.
So it's late at night, I guess, for them, which isn't as bad, but still, like, Jesus, man. I know some of us in some parts of the world are going to be struggling waking up on Saturday, or maybe they'll just stay up wherever you are, and because I know the West Coast, they have to wake up at 4:30. And that is brutal. So shout out everyone on the West Coast. Hope you guys get some sleep before then. But hey,
Popeyes
other than that,
good.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful to have football back at the lane that I enjoy watching. Popeyes is fire. Their chicken sandwich is so
Some
good.
of my favorite memories at Popeyes was with you and I, Michael.
Oh,
when
yeah.
we both worked at
We
FC
would
Dallas.
go.
You, me,
Yeah,
and
we'd go
Garrett.
for lunch.
Garrett, we'd all go for lunch, and I would
Popeyes.
just get
Actually,
two of those fire.
Didn't I introduce you to the sandwich? Because it had just dropped, right?
It had dropped, and I hadn't gotten one yet. And you were like, "Let's go. We're going to Popeyes
Yeah,
for
we're
lunch."
going now. Yeah, I was like, now. We're going now. Yeah. Shout out Popeyes and their
Shout out
their
Popeyes.
spicy chicken
Spicy
sandwich
chicken.
is...
Oh,
man. Okay, we gotta go because I'm
I
getting
think that's
tired.
what I'm gonna have for dinner.
I'm getting hungry. Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
I'm getting hungry as hell. Big up
We gotta end
everybody.
this.
Big up everybody in the chat who stuck around, listened to us talk about food and random shit there for the last 20 minutes. Big up everybody.
Yo, Ben Kaufman, 4-month member.
For 4 months.
Hell yeah.
Big up, Benny
Thank you so
boy.
much, man. And if you didn't hear us earlier in the stream, please make sure you go over to Ben Kaufman's channel at the Coffee Company and hit that like and subscribe, please.
He's almost to 500. Show some love, y'all.
But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I have.
That's all you got. But go check out Popeyes if they do open near you. I love me some Popeyes, and Michael and I, our friendship has bonded over some Popeyes, so it's a great place. Fried chicken, it's hard to do fried chicken wrong. It's like pizza. You can't really do it wrong. You can just do it better. And you know what? Hopefully we can do things better as well here on the channel. But it has been a fun 2 hours talking with Michael. Anytime you and I are together, the channel is complete and at full force. So I'm very thankful for those of you who have tuned in to this edition of United Spurs of America as well. I normally sign it off in a way. Should I sign it off the way I do the Untitled series, Mike? Is that what
Go
I
ahead,
should do?
man. Go for it.
You know what? I'm going to sign it off that way. I'm going to tell everybody in the chat to number 1, stay fresh. Number 2, stay blessed. Number 3, up the lads. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Mike?
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.